nothing for you I could ever change. 'Cause every time you look up to the sky, realize that you are only looking in the mirror.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Authentic Amigas. My name is Valerie.
And I'm Florencia. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 13 of our little project here, our love child, Authentic Amigas.
Our baby.
Yeah, and we're so happy to have you here for episode number 13. We're actually recording episode number 13 on January 13th, so 13 on the 13th. Happy to have you here and joining us this week.
Yes. And if you are not following us yet on our social media platforms, stop what you're doing right now. Head over to Instagram, Twitter. That's all we have right now. But head over there and follow us on Authentic Amigas. That's it. Just at Authentic Amigas. Give us a follow. And if you follow us on Twitter, we'll definitely follow you back. Can't wait to interact more with all of you.
Yep, and as far as streaming platforms, we are on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, and that's all of them, right?
And you said YouTube, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep, we're honestly everywhere.
We are, and if you're listening to us on Spotify, just know that you can always watch us as well on YouTube. We have a visual up now, so make sure that you come and hang out with us.
Yeah, and you know what? We spent 2 hours getting ready just for this podcast. So please, we literally only get ready for you.
Yeah, honestly, I was telling Val right before we started that I'm so happy that we have our little podcast every week, because if we did not, I have no reason to wear lipstick anywhere that I go now, because we wear masks and all that. So thank you for giving me a reason to get ready this week and for kicking it with us.
Yay! So for today's episode, I can't believe we're on episode 13, like you said. That was crazy. First of all, we say that every week, but no, really, it's crazy. We made it. Episode 13. What are we talking about today, Valerie? You want to tell the people, our amigas?
Sure. So some of you, probably most of you know, are half of our Authentic Amigas duo, Miss Valerie Pamela, in the month of December, went through the whole process of getting and recovering from COVID. And there's a lot of people that maybe don't know too much or don't want to speak about it so openly, and maybe have questions or have gone through the same thing. And so, we just wanted to talk about it this week and open up, mostly Val, because I didn't go through the same thing. But I also obviously know people. I know Val. I know other people who have gone through it. So we just want to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, for sure. And right from the beginning of this episode, best friend and I always have, a little prep combo before recording. And I told her, there's nothing that's off the table with this. I want to be as transparent as possible. I know for a lot of people, COVID isn't something that they necessarily want to talk about because, it's a lot. It's a lot to go through. And then there's the COVID guilt, which is a really popular term right now. And it's feeling like you caught COVID because you did A through Z wrong, right? Or you should have followed the rules better, or there's a lot of reasons why you can feel guilty. And I just want to say right now, it's, if you get COVID, you have COVID. It is what it is. Unfortunately, some people get it because they go out. Some people get it because they have to go to the grocery store. Some people get it because they have to work. Some people get it and have no idea. So please, as we talk about this, try and let go of that COVID guilt. If you're going through it right now, listening, and you're battling this, let go of the COVID guilt, breathe in. May this podcast just bring enlightenment and knowledge about the topic. This is not to slander anybody in any way. We're all battling this together. This is definitely a universal thing that we're going through together. And I think if anything, COVID, although we can't be physically together, it should be something that unites us and not separates us and not makes us angry at one another. That took me a while to get to this point, by the way, because we'll go more into it. But yes, just want to say that right off the bat. If you're battling this right now, we're here for you, and we see you, and we care for you, and don't be scared to reach out to one of us if you need somebody, because you are not alone.
Yeah, and may not just be you. Could be a close family member, a close friend, somebody that you live with, your neighbor, whoever. So I think by now, almost a year into this, like we all know somebody who's been like directly or indirectly affected by it. So yeah, thank you for tuning in this week for this important topic.
Ooh. So let's talk COVID. So like Flo said, I caught COVID. So I tested positive for COVID December 14th. That was my exact date. I got it from my brother, who got it from somebody else. Then he came home, and I was luckily very blessed to be the only one in my family who caught it, because everybody in my family wears masks. So I do want to say that I don't want to say I was the most careful person, because I'm sure there's somebody out there that was doing it better than I am. Um, but I really did not go out. I've been taking this so serious. Flo and I have been taking this so serious. The reason why we're on Zoom is because as soon as numbers started getting crazy, we're like, although we were getting tested like 3 times a week to see one another, we're like, no, like we can't do this no more. Numbers are getting crazy. It's kind of inconsiderate to our loved ones, to medical field workers. It's just not the timing. So luckily we figured out how to do our podcast via Zoom. So yeah, I've been taking this very serious. So I didn't catch COVID because I was out. I didn't go looking for it, basically.
Yeah, I'd like to add real quick before you keep going. Like, I second that. I've also been careful. My family's also been careful, but dead ass, I do not know a single family that was more careful than Val and her household. So I think like a lot of our friends that were like super shocked when you were like telling people like this happened to me, I was also super shocked because you were probably the last person that I thought would go through this ever.
Yeah, and that just goes to show that it really can happen to anybody.
Oh yeah, COVID does not play fair.
No, it doesn't. And so yeah, I caught COVID. And I guess I'll just go through my days really quickly, just because I feel like there are a lot of like day 1 to day 15th information out there. So I'll just quickly go through it, because I feel like there's questions and more things that people don't necessarily talk too much about that we want to get to.
Mhm.
And best friend and I want to talk about. So basically day 1 was feeling good. I FaceTimed best friend and I was like, oh my God, dude, I tested positive for COVID. And I was like, I'm going to be fine though. Like I was eating Oreos. I was like, you know what? This is going to be like a vacation. I don't even rest ever. So let me backtrack real quick. My brother came home with COVID, and then I tested negative 2 days after, but then like a day or 2 later, I started feeling sick. I started feeling tired. I had a stuffy nose. That was like my first like real symptom, like my stuffy nose and my tiredness. And the reason why I was like, I don't think I have it, was because I don't sleep. So that's normally how I feel, is just tired. But then as the day kind of carried on, you have that gut feeling. So
Yeah.
I went, got tested positive, came home, and went straight to quarantine myself. I'm not gonna lie, COVID has always been my biggest fear. Like since the beginning of this, like COVID was and quickly became my biggest nightmare. So when I found out, I don't know, I just was trying to process everything. But day 1, I was like, I'm gonna be fine. I got this. I'm strong. I know I can get through this. And then day 2 was fine. Day 3 sucked. Day 3 was horrible. Day 3 was one of those days where I was like, okay, I know this is not going to be as easy as I thought. And I started losing my, it's kind of weird because my oxygen levels never really were horrible, but like I felt like hella shortness of breath. I couldn't breathe. I was getting crazy chills, my body aches, my headaches, and more and more symptoms started coming. Day 4 was okay. Day 5 was horrible. And as you can already tell probably by listening so far, COVID is like a roller coaster ride. Because best friend, I don't know if you remember one of those days you FaceTime me, I think it was day 4, and I was like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good now. Like day 3.
There was one day where I think it was probably, like you said, 3 was a little bit better. Or like there were days like that. And I remember one day you had like done your makeup and you were like in your room, and it was crazy because like you said, it's a complete roller coaster. And then like on one of the hard days, I called you, and we were on FaceTime and it was like dark, but you were awake, and I was like, hey, how are you feeling? And you could like barely talk. And so I was like, oh, it's okay. Like if you're resting, like I'll just talk to you later, because I could tell like it was like costing you a lot of energy just to like hold the phone up to like carry a conversation. And then like 6 hours later you FaceTimed me again and you were like, I'm feeling so much better. So it's like within like 4 hours or 6 hours, like you were night and day. So I feel like that's how it is for a lot of people that I've heard as well. Like they'll go through like very hard times, and then the next day we hear like, oh, they're doing great. And then after that, it's like, oh my gosh, things are so much worse. And you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it was for me, because I believe it was day 5 was rough. Day 6 was okay. I think day 7, I was like, okay, I'm going to be good. Like, I'm out of this. Like, day 10 is going to come soon and I'm going to be fine. And I even went to go get tested on day 7. Or no, I went to go get tested on day 10, actually. And I was good up, I was okay, right? I was still had shortness of breath and I still had some things, but I wasn't getting worse. And out of nowhere, day 10, like, no, did I get tested day 8, best friend? Actually, I have my notes. Let me look at my notes. I don't want to get this messed up because I know this is really important to a lot of people, including myself. Oh, actually, I have my notes on my phone. You guys, I don't want to get this wrong for anybody. So, okay, so I got tested day 8, 9, around there. And those days I was feeling good. And then the day after that, it was like I relapsed. It felt like worse than the first days of me having COVID. I felt, at this point, I felt like there might not, like, I don't know if I'm going to get out of this okay. And that was terrifying. And throughout the bad days, I do want to say, like, there were moments where I was like, I don't know if my body will be able to fight this at home. And I don't know if I'm gonna like have to go to the hospital. And I guess for me, just my biggest fear was having to go to the hospital and having to stay there for a long time. And having to stay there for a long time and not knowing what would happen. You know, you can't see your family. And it was just so many things go through your mind while you're in your bedroom alone, isolating yourself. But by day 10, it got worse. And it was the weirdest thing because every day felt worse. So day 11, I woke up pretty horrible. I think I tried getting ready and I was like, I can't do this. I remembered I was trying to blow dry my hair at some point. I think this was like during that time, during like day 6 as well. And I remember I was like, best friend, I'm so weak. Like, I just was a mess. But I'm trying, hold on, let me get my notes again, you guys, because I want to make sure I'm getting my days right. So I'm on day 11 right now. Let me backtrack actually. So I'm going to go back to day 10. Okay, so day 11. Okay, so day 11, so I went to go get tested on around day 9, and I tested positive still. So then I was told, don't get tested till day 14th because a lot of people don't test negative on day 10, in which CDC, right, correct me if I'm wrong, but CDC technically tells you that by day 10 you're no longer contagious, right?
Yeah, and they say like if you have no symptoms and stuff, like you can go back to your life.
Okay. So I did not. It was day 9 and I still tested positive. So then me testing positive, I don't know why I had some kind of false hope that I was gonna test negative, although I felt like shiznits. I think it's just you just want to be over it already, but I did test positive still, and the days just seemed pretty long. Was still doing okay. I was able to control my breathing and I was able to get hold of like my anxiety that was driving me insane at that point. And then I went to get tested again day 15th. I went to go get tested and I finally tested negative. And this is a trip, you guys, because I felt horrible when I went to go get tested that day. I think I told you, best friend, like, I don't know if I'm going to test negative because I felt probably from a 1 to 10, I felt like a 7 at that point still. I couldn't breathe right. My memory, oh my gosh, I could not remember a lot of things at that point. I had to write things down because I knew I was going to forget them a couple hours later. So I just didn't feel comfortable. I had my brother actually follow me when I was driving because I was scared that, I don't know, something might happen. But I did end up testing negative day 15th. And that was just a little version of like my days. We're going to get into questions and stuff like that, but that's basically how it went. Day 1, feeling great. Day 15, finally tested negative. But I think people have a misconception sometimes that because you test negative, you feel amazing and great, and boom, COVID is done. But that's not true. And we're going to get more into the recovery process. That for me, the recovery process has been probably like as equally tough as actually being in COVID. So
yeah. So somebody had a question. We posted a little sticker to our Instagram stories. Somebody had a question about like remedies or what you did at home to help yourself be comfortable in this time, because like you said, you didn't want to go to the hospital. That like really wasn't an option for you, and you didn't want to have it on the table if you didn't need to. Obviously, there's no hospital to go to right now in California. But yeah, what did you do at home? What did your family do that helped you guys?
So I wrote some stuff down here, but the first thing I would have to say is that if you are someone who normally suffers from anxiety, like, I know it's gonna be hard, but you have to get a hold of yourself. You have to like look up YouTube videos on how to meditate. Best friend, I think you can actually come in to this one for sure because you had actually sent me the videos.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did. I literally forgot about that until you said it right now. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I sent you like a meditation video for like positive affirmations, like to bring health into your life, like meditate and like manifest health.
Yeah, and honestly, the key is to just be able to control your anxiety because anxiety alone can just destroy us. And COVID alone does the same. So when you mix both of those together, which both cause or make it really hard to breathe, to get a hold of like your breath correctly, when they marry one another, it's like, oh my God, I wish I could like it's terrible. So get a hold of your anxiety, and like best friend sent me this affirmations like meditation thing. So from the beginning, like once you find out, if you find out you have COVID, you have to tell yourself like, no matter what, I'm gonna be okay. No matter what gets thrown at me, I'm gonna make it out fine, and I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna win this, like, period. Like, there's no I can't or maybe or none of that. Take out all the negative thoughts from your head and tell yourself you're gonna make it. You're gonna be fine. This is not like a flu, but you got to tell yourself it's like while you're battling, you have to tell yourself it's just another thing that my body's gonna have to fight and get over and get through, and I know I can. Something that helped my anxiety a lot was teas. Okay, so now let's get into that. So first, controlling your anxiety and getting a hold of your mind and your thoughts and your body and listening to what your body needs, not what your mind is telling you that your body needs, which, girl, like if you guys are going through this, like our minds like run at the scariest places during this time. So take it back to happy land while you're fighting this, and that's hard, but reach out to friends and reach out to us if you're having a hard time doing that. So remedies: lots of water. Drink a lot of water. Do not stop drinking water. You should be going to the bathroom at least 10 times a day, at least. Like, at least. I swear I was going to the bathroom like at least 10 or 15 times a day. So drink water all day. Like, a gallon is what normally is recommended. Try and drink more than that. Force yourself. Like, this isn't for enjoyment. This is for your body, to fight this disease. teas with ginger, lemon, onion, and if you want to add orange peels as well. Most of us won't even be able to taste it because with COVID, you do lose your taste. A lot of people do. So you won't even be able to taste it. And if you can, throw in some extra honey in there to make it extra sweet and a little easier to drink. But honestly, it's not horrible. So drink lots of that. I probably drink like 4 of those a day. Vitamins. Okay, these are the vitamins you need. Like don't try and not take these if you have COVID. Vitamin D, vitamin C, calcium, zinc, and any kind of immune supporting supplement. I'll say that one more time. You need vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, calcium, and any kind of immune supporting supplement. That's really gonna get your body. It's gonna give your body some punching bags, right? So it's I think that made a huge difference for me, especially the vitamin D and C. That's one. Oh, Mucinex, Mucinex, Mucinex.
Oh,
You
that's
need
one that I've heard a lot of people that like to help you breathe and stuff because a lot of people also have cough. I don't know if you mentioned like how severe your cough was.
Yeah, so I didn't have to like I guess I'll go through like my list of my full symptoms after this, but I didn't have too much of a cough, but it did help with my congestion. I had a really
Mm,
bad congestion and helped a lot with that. So definitely sorry, there's a
they're
motorcycle. So
zooming out there.
yeah, so definitely Mucinex and then Tylenol if you have a fever or headache. um, have Tylenol at hand. And honestly, even if you don't have a fever or headache at the beginning, just have all these things at hand. I would even suggest having these things at hand now. Even if you're like, I don't think I want to get it. Just be prepared. Never hurts to be prepared. These vitamins we should be taking all the time anyway. So it never hurts to be prepared. Best friend, you can tell them about preparedness.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's the one thing that we can do like before this happens, is just be prepared for if and when it does happen.
Yeah, no, the other day I saw your story and it was like literally a
That's
pharmacy.
you though, dude. That's literally all you. So, fun fact, before I was friends with Val, I literally never took a goddamn vitamin in my life. And so the only vitamins that like I did take like years ago were like the hair ones, but like that's it. And actually Val has always drank like a lot of vitamins. And so throughout like my time of knowing her, I've been like, okay, like maybe it's rubbed off on me a little bit. Like maybe I should pay more attention and like worry a little bit more about like my health. And so literally throughout this pandemic, dude, part of it is like just like my anxiety, like my paranoia, like, oh my God, like it could be me. Um, but also part of it is just me being like, okay, no, like I need to pay attention to my health. And
Yeah.
I've been drinking and taking so many vitamins every day. I'm actually proud of myself because I'm very bad at doing stuff like that. But actually, a big part of it has to do with you because I know that that's something that like you've always been on top of for the most part. But yeah, I did post the other day. I have like a whole arsenal of like different things that I take. I feel like an old person, like how they have like a bin where they put like all their medicines. My grandma has a bin where she puts all her medicines. That's how
Yeah.
I feel, but with my little vitamins.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I was like, dang, best friend really got CVS in her room now.
Yeah, I'm like, what you need?
Yeah, she's a plug. So if you guys also need any recommendations on what vitamins to necessarily take, hit me up. I will send you what I recommend and what I've been recommended to take as well from my doctor.
Yeah, I was gonna say also if you have like insurance or like access to a doctor, that's for sure the best source of information for all of this.
Yes.
Something new for me. Again, I used like really don't go to the doctor like that, but something that I started using like since the pandemic started is Teledoc. Luckily, like with my insurance, I can just download an app and then I have to just like log in with my insurance info and then I can request like a telehealth appointment. And so they can like video chat me or they can do like a regular phone call. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, it's really cool. So I literally just like a few weeks ago I needed it because I had like an allergic reaction. So like I made that appointment and got that taken care of right away. And I literally just lay in bed and like answer the phone when they call me. So if that's something that you have access to your insurance or anything like that, definitely recommend that you take advantage of that and check.
Yeah.
even if you're not sick, just to
Yeah.
be like, hey, what should I do, like, to be prepared, or like, how's my health,
Ooh,
in
yeah.
case this were to happen.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because that's something I should have said from the very beginning, like a disclaimer. I am not, I am no in no way able to like recommend things. I'm basically speaking on my experience. This is all basically just on my experience and what
Yeah,
I
and our
did to
research.
recover. Yeah, on our own research. This is like I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I have no idea. I've never studied anything in the medical field, so this is just
But
based on
you've been through it.
yeah, I've just been through it, and this is just my own experience and what helped me and what best friends saw helped, and yeah, that's all I have written down. And then I have meditation and breathing exercises, and most importantly, rest. Like sleep. Don't feel bad for sleeping your day away. Like, please sleep as much as you can. Drink water, eat, sleep. Drink water, eat, sleep. Vitamins, drink water, eat, sleep. Don't even try and do physical exercise. Do not put your body through it, even if you're feeling fine from you 10 days is what CDC says. And if you're feeling great by day 7, still wait your 10 days to finally, start doing some physical activity. COVID looks different for everybody. Everybody's everybody's experience is different. Mine was really different than my brother's.
That's what
My
I was
brother,
gonna say, is that you guys had totally different, and I wanted you to mention that as well, that you guys had totally different experiences, which I think just goes to show, like, listen to your own body,
yeah.
and you know yourself best, and you just have to tune into that as much as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Because my brother felt pretty good by day 7, like pretty good. And I think he tested negative on day 10. So he was ready to go. I mean, now he's back to working out. He still has to take it slow because it does affect your body regardless, but very different experiences. So yeah, that's some remedies. That's something stuff I did at home. Oh, the nebulizer. I forgot to mention that. The nebulizer and an inhaler. If you are feeling like you can't breathe, please go call your doctor. Go to find a hospital. Like if you need a nebulizer or an inhaler, call your doctor, please, because that's really what helped me a lot. I couldn't
Yeah.
breathe at one point. So
Yeah, and if you're asthmatic, like, if you have a history of this, I've heard and I've read, like, just make sure that your things are not expired and that they're, like, filled up. I know that, like, you can run out of like medication, like, in your inhaler. So if that's you, then just make sure that you have that stocked up along
yeah,
with your vitamins, your medication, etc. Just for, if it's not for today, it'll be for tomorrow or next week or whenever you need it. It'll be there for you.
yeah, for sure.
We had a question about like lingering symptoms. We also had a question about how COVID changed you. So now that you're 1 month post COVID, in 2 days, it will have been a month since you tested negative. How has your first month been?
Okay.
Has there been anything that you've been surprised by, or anything that you think, like, people don't really talk about that you think that you should mention?
Okay, so 1 month post-COVID, how am I feeling now? Ooh, eh, um, okay, so physically, I'm feeling much better. I still have some shortness of breath. The headaches are insane. I've never experienced headaches like the ones I've experienced post-COVID, not even while like actually being diagnosed with COVID and actually having COVID, but post-COVID headaches, uh, those are pretty intense. The body ache took a minute for it to leave. I read somewhere that walking and doing light physical activity helps a lot. So that's what I've been doing, is taking 30-minute walks every day. I actually, the first time I walked, I think I walked for like 10 minutes, and I was like, this is it, because again, I still have shortness of breath and a hard time breathing sometimes. So I took a 10-minute walk, and then I think day 2, I took like a 15-minute walk, and I slowly been like walking until I've gotten to 30 minutes. So now that's where I'm at. And it's helped my headaches tremendously. Please, if you're having those COVID headaches, try walking. and see if that works for you. It made a huge difference for me. I think a big one is also like the memory fog, the brain fog is what they call it. Terrible. I tried driving to my other best friend's house, Alyssa, because I had to drop something off in front of her door, and I could not remember how to get there. And I know where my best friend lives. She doesn't live too far from me. I know how to get there. And I could not for the life of me remember how to get there. It was getting so frustrating that I parked my car and I was like, dude, I know I can remember this. Like I know I can. And I couldn't. And so that kind of sucks. Because I did definitely had severe like brain fog, like really bad brain fog. And I think it's still lingering right now. I think a big one that people don't talk about too much, and I just tweeted this yesterday, is the post-COVID anxiety and depression. And best friend, you said something that stuck with me a lot, and it has still stuck with me. Remember I asked you, I was like, I think we talked one of the days on the phone while I was in bed. I was like, I don't think people talk enough about the anxiety and depression that comes with COVID. And you said something to me, I don't know if you remember, you said like, that's because like right now we're just trying to survive. And then we're gonna like, do you remember what it was exactly you said?
Yeah, because we're in survival mode right now, and like our physical safety has to come first, and then after like we can ensure our physical safety, then our mental, we're gonna deal with the after effects of like the mental side like later on, because right now we're just worried about like, okay, like how do I survive? And later we're gonna be like, okay, now what did I go through?
Yeah, and that's really like what it is. And I feel like with COVID, that's literally what it is like during those 10, some people like longer, I want to say like 10 to 21 day period, you're just trying to survive. Your body's just trying to survive. And so in no way are you thinking like my mental health, like my mental health is at risk. Like you're not thinking about that. You're just trying to survive and make it out. And so once you survived and you're past COVID, then all those emotions I feel like finally start coming out, and all that anxiety and stress and like all those thoughts like come out after COVID, and they just stay there, and you're like, what do I do with this? Like it's not fun to deal with. I saw a lot of people say that they lose like motivation like after, and they just have no motivation to do things anymore, and they're just tired. And I kind of feel that. I mean, best friend, like I'm pretty like I feel like I love to work. Like I love working. I love doing what I do, and I just these last couple of days have been really hard because it's like, why don't I want to do what I love to do? Like what's wrong with me? Like what is wrong with me genuinely? Like something is wrong. And I think that comes, with like getting help with therapists and loved ones and trying to
Right. And
figure out.
in a way, like it's like almost like not recognizing yourself, like not recognizing who you are anymore after this like traumatic experience. Is that like kind of what you're describing?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Literally, like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm who, like, who am I? Like what? Like I, it sucks because you get, again, for myself, I'm speaking to myself, like I got to a point where I was like, am I gonna make it out? Is this like it? Like, am I gonna be able to do this? And then to like be able to do it, and then have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, I did it. Like, now what? Like, what's next? Like, how do I protect my loved ones from going through this? Like where do I pick up where I left off? Do I even want to pick up where I left off? And it's a lot. 14 days in a room by yourself does a lot to you. You're in there with your thoughts while you're fighting like this deadly disease, and it's not easy for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm very glad that you're still here to tell the story, and let us know like what you went through. I think, like you said, while you're going through it, you really have to just focus on your recovery and I think a lot of people are surprised, like when young people go through like severe COVID, and finding out that like people our age can like pass away from it. Like people just don't, it's so, it's almost like shocking, like that it can like actually happen. So like we started off by saying, like, if this is something that you're going through, like at this moment, focus on yourself and focus on your recovery. This is like really something that affects all of our bodies differently. Like you said, even like you and your brother, y'all are literally made up of like the same genes.
Right.
And he had one experience where he recovered more quickly than you and had a different experience, whereas you had something a little bit more drawn out and had like a different set of symptoms. So everybody is going to be affected differently. You know, a lot of it is like the elderly people, like we might be okay, but like maybe our parents and our grandparents might not.
Right.
And sometimes they're okay too. I don't think I mentioned to you yet, Val, like my grandmother's about to be like almost 90 years old, and she got COVID a few weeks ago. She has a pacemaker and like a whole ass list of underlying conditions, right? So when I found out, I was like, oh my God, like my grandmother may not make it, but she's still here to this day, and like she's recovered. So my almost 90-year-old grandmother like
Praise the
beat
Lord.
COVID, you know? So
Okay.
sometimes there's cases like that, and sometimes there's cases where it's more severe, but whether it's you or loved one like that's going through it, focus on that recovery. And like Val said, it's half the battle is mental. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that is like you will be okay, and don't doubt that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that is easier said than done, let me tell you, because I'm sitting here right now telling you guys to be strong and focus on the end goal. But I was not necessarily doing that while fighting. Like it was a roller coaster. Like some days I was like, oh my God, I'm going to grab my brother and burn his stuff and like never speak to him again. Like how
Yeah.
dare he? Like it felt like that. And is that right of me to think that? No, not necessarily. But that's what was going through my mind, just because I was so angry. I mean, I caught COVID at like the worst time I possibly could have caught COVID, like the busiest time of the year. It's the holidays. You don't want to be locked up in your room. Like I had so much planned. And I caught it, and I had to stop everything. Like everything just paused, and it was not easy to think happy thoughts. I'll just say that it was not easy. But that's when you have to really count on loved ones and friends, and don't be scared to reach out to people. Please, you are not a bother. Like, do not hesitate. If you at one point at all just think like, I don't think I don't think I'm gonna be okay, like reach out. Like we don't even have to talk, yo. We just like, I just want to be there with you, like on the phone, just knowing that, I just want you to know that you're not alone. And I think that goes for best friend and I. We both are the same way. Like we both want you guys to feel like you can reach out to us, because it's not easy. So it can hit different to everybody. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's experience is different. That's what's crazy about this COVID thing, is that you just don't know going into it. Like you don't know.
Yeah, well, luckily we're in a place now where I really hope that in the next few weeks we see a lot of things getting better. One thing that you said, I think like probably a few weeks ago actually, when you were still like recovering and stuff, like we're, at least in California and also lots of other states, like we're really like in the worst of it right now, where like ICUs are like above max capacity and things are just the worst right now. And I think I was talking to you about that, and I was like, I can't believe it. And you were like, well, like just like with anything else, like things have to get worse before it gets better. Like this is like the worst that we're going through, and after this is when it's going to start getting better. And that's the way that I personally have kept like trying to remind myself, like, okay, like this is the worst of it, but we're on our way out, hopefully. And that's literally the only thing that keeps me going. A lot of it has to do with like our government, changing into, which, oh my God, what a mess our government is at the moment, but changing into
Wait, real quick, have you seen that tweet? I think you retweeted it where it was like, I feel like we're battling two pandemics, like the COVID and like stupidity.
Yeah, dude, honestly, we could talk a whole other episode, a whole other hour someday about the stupidity that is the GOP in 2020 and 2021. But
I'm like,
yeah, dude, dead ass. But I have a lot of faith. Joe Biden was not my top choice guy. I have bigger plans for us, but I have a lot of hope that having a president and like a GOP that believes in like science and medicine more than our current president has will lead us out of this. I also have, like, it brings me so much joy that I see people that in my circles that are getting vaccinated. That to me is like, oh my God, like every day that I'm driving home from work, I listen to the news. And every day that I'm driving to work, I listen to the news. I'm like a grandmother or something. I'm sitting there on my radio and they talk about like the state rollout plan. And it's been going a lot slower than how they projected and obviously how we would have liked it to be. But things are moving. And I see people that like I know getting their vaccines, which honestly that makes me so damn excited. Like I can't tell you, like literally sometimes I'll be driving and I'm by myself and I'm just smiling thinking about like us getting the vaccine. So that's gonna help us a lot. I literally cannot wait. I will be first in line when they tell me that we can get it. And yeah, I mean, if there's any light at the end of the tunnel for me, that's what I'm holding on to these days. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we woke up today to Disneyland being open for vaccinations. They vaccinated people today.
Did you see somebody tweeted like people could be wearing their mini ears to the vaccine? You're like, say less.
I'm like, I have my mini ears right here next to me. Like, I'm not playing. I am ready. I think I've never wanted to be an Orange County resident, but I'm not gonna lie, I did for a second yesterday when they announced Disneyland was gonna give the vaccine. Like, kind of was a little bit jealous, but
yeah, but
hallelujah.
I'm so damn excited for all of us to be able to do that. If you're hesitant, I just want to say do your research. And I know some people are not really planning on like taking the vaccine. Personally, like I said, I will be first in line, and I will
be second.
Yeah, well, we'll be holding hands first in line, best friend. Yeah, me and anybody who asks me what I think, I will encourage you to do the same and do your research. And I trust science. I only believe in science.
Yeah, no, 100. I mean, listen, at this point, there's no reaction to a vaccine that can be worse than COVID. There isn't. I mean, any reaction that I get, it cannot be worse than COVID. It really can't. And I also trust the medical field. I trust these scientists. I do. I really, really do. So I will be second in line after best friend. Hallelujah. Thank God that these vaccines, I mean, in the next 9 days, California is about to see, I think, major changes because Dodger Stadium is now converting to a vaccination facility.
I saw somebody posted on TikTok, Cal State Long Beach, vaccinating like social workers and other people who have like contact with others, like close contact. I know I've started seeing like universities develop plans for rolling out the vaccine like to their students and to their staff and faculty. So I'm so glad. This really is like our ticket out of this bullshit.
Yeah, listen, there's hope. I know, like, I have hope that if anyone listening right now has a loved one battling COVID, that your loved one is going to make it out. I have hope that if you are fearful of COVID, the vaccine will get to you soon. That things will start slowly. I don't think getting back to what our normal was but slowly start opening up again, and we can live a life with no fear. I think that's what people just want at this point, is to be able to wake up and not be scared for their lives.
Right.
And I think there's hope. I think it's like you said, the
So
worst.
close.
Yeah, like it's just so close. We just have to hang on tight. Just hang on super tight to that thread that we're hanging on to,
Yeah.
and we're almost there. Yeah, don't lose faith. Do not lose hope. Listen, if my body, could fight this, and my mind could get through this, I know we all can. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have more questions, by the way? I don't know if we do.
I don't think so. Not. I think we touched on all of them about like your symptoms and remedies and your recovery process. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that we have to add today. Do not lose hope, and until the vaccine gets to us, until we are fully out of this mess, we have to continue the sacrifices that we've all been making. We are so close to the end. Like you said, we literally just have to hang on and keep masking ourselves up, keep staying at home as much as we can, going to work when we have to, like safely, and practicing all the precautions that we can. And hopefully in a couple episodes time, we are in a different place.
Oh yeah, no, I know we will be. I have not lost faith in that. And thank you guys so much for first of all, actually, let me backtrack before I start thanking the listener, you guys, our amazing amigas. Let me thank best friend, who, when I'm sitting here telling you guys, like, let us be a support system for you, because I think it is so crucial to have a support system while battling this. I only know that because I had an amazing support system. And I remember telling best friend one of the days, I think it was shortly after I had tested negative, like, I'm only as strong as the people around me. Like, I think sometimes people see me and they're like, dang, she's strong, girl. Like, she built different. No, I am only as strong as the people I surround myself with, because let me tell y'all, I'm gonna be really real with you guys. Like, those 14 days, I had more lows than highs, and the only people getting me out of my lows were my loved ones. Like, that's really all I had. Because there's no way in hell I was getting myself out of that low. Clock me out. I was like, this was cute. This was real cute. I'm over it though. Like, this is not fun. This is not for me. I'm a strong girl, but I cannot do pain. Like, I'm a big baby. I really can't. I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, who am I gonna fight with, myself? Like, if I can't, I cannot. So shout out to my friends. Thank you, best friend, for being there for me. There's just no way I couldn't have gone out of it like the way I did without you and my loved ones. So you guys, I cannot express how important having a support system is. If you have COVID, you do have to be isolated in your room, but that does not mean you have to be emotionally isolated, okay? Like, physically, yes, but not emotionally, not mentally. Even if you happen to have to go to the hospital, take your phone with you. I'm pretty sure you can have your phone. Stay FaceTiming people, stay calling people, rotate them. If you need, watch people, like, whatever, just tell them, like, don't hang up on me. I need you to be here. Period. Say less. You are the priority right now. Your battle is a priority right now. So, yes.
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of people praying for you and waiting for you to recover. And just like you guys, if you're listening, if you know anybody going through this, sending the same energy from us to you. And yeah, that's all we could do for now. That's all we can say while we finish getting through this.
Yeah, and we will get through this. We're gonna get through this together. And the post-COVID depression, anxiety, we're gonna get through that together too.
Yeah, we'll deal with that when we get there.
Yeah, we will, and we will work through it. I mean, look, I'm here doing this podcast, right? I got up, I showered, I put some foundation on. So we're gonna make it. We're gonna be okay. Again, thank you guys for all your love, your prayers, your thoughts, your messages, your DMs. Like, I literally, that's another thing too that I had to look forward to in my day was reading my DMs or reading my messages, because I had so many messages, and I cannot, like, I don't want to cry again on this podcast, so I'm not gonna get that into it, but that just was everything to me. So seriously, like, thank you guys. And yeah, we made it, and you're gonna make it, and your loved ones are gonna make it. And if there's anyone out there also, because I know people have lost loved ones, your feelings are so valid, and we also see you. And fighting this is not easy. No one loses the battle of COVID. That you don't lose a battle of COVID, right? It's different for everybody. So we see you, we love you, we're thinking about you. We're also here for you just as much as we are for anybody else. So please reach out, and we love you. We're sending a big hug, a really big hug to you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your whole story, best friend. I know a lot of people, like we said at the beginning, a lot of people don't know what to expect, have people that have gone through this. So thank you for opening up and sharing a little bit about that as much as you could. And thank you for tuning in. If you're still here listening to us, we hella appreciate you.
Alrighty, well, this is episode 13. Val did get COVID.
We'll title that. Val did get COVID.
Val did get COVID. She did get COVID. Oh my God, I didn't see the symptoms. Real quick. Let me just go through the list of symptoms, because I know I've been getting so many questions about what were your symptoms. My symptoms were congestion, not being able to breathe. I don't know how to like properly.
Shortness of breath?
Thank you. Shortness of breath. See, what would I do without her?
Sorry.
I don't know. So I'm like not dead. I don't know. Shortness of breath, congestion, chills, body ache, headache, foggy memory. So brain fog. I did lose my taste. I lost my smell. Not 100% though. It would come in and out. So that's another thing with COVID, is just, again, respect your body and love your body so much, because it's going to be a roller coaster ride if you get it. Some days are going to be really good. Some days are not going to be so good. And don't pressure your body to recover fast. Give your body the space and time and love that it needs, because it needs a lot of it. So please put your body first. And don't listen to the outside world, because some people are going to tell you you're ready to work out, you're ready to go back to work. If your body's telling you stay in bed, stay in bed. Okay? And yeah, that's basically the main symptoms I had. So, and with that, we are going to leave you guys. Please message us if you guys have any questions. There's just so much we could have talked about on this episode, but it would be a 3-hour episode. So if you guys have any more questions, let us know. We can hop on stories and answer them as well.
Right.
We can even hop on a phone call. We can even do a FaceTime call, girl. So.
Oh, yeah, we definitely can. So definitely slide in our DMs if you have any more questions for Val, questions for me, questions for future episodes, etc. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. It is our second episode of 2021. I already feel that 2021 is going to be much better than 2020. So
It better.
Yeah, so stay tuned, because it's only gonna get better, y'all. Including our podcast. I'm talking about our podcast. Better days. Okay. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. If you haven't followed Authentic Amigas, go ahead and follow us at Authentic Amigas on Instagram, Twitter. You can follow my personal at Valerie Pamela. And where can they find you, best friend? I'm at Florencia, and that's it. You could also find us on TikTok at Authentic Amigas. Maybe we'll do something on there eventually. Very cute of me to just say that on here.
We love the bold energy, best friend. We love the bold Leo energy.
Like, don't listen to her. Oh, and if you need any jewelry, fly apparel, or butterfly fingers, press-on nails, you can find them at Valerie Pamela. Don't forget.
That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch. Drive her own car. Hey.
I'm dead. Yeah, I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all in another episode.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
To live the weight of the but still no